So here's an interesting story it's a parable, a guy who wrote the book that I'm currently listening to on Audible. The book is called Get a Fucking Grip, and it is almost the antithesis of a lot of self-help and personal development literature you'll get nowadays. I say that, but it actually is a self-help and personal development book in its own right. It's just written in a very different way, and the clues in the title, it's almost sort of get a grip, slow down, take stock, see where you're at, and stop getting so anxious and stressed and worried about a lot of things in life. So the author tells a parable which he openly admits he's nicked from somewhere else, so he doesn't tell the full story for fear of copyright infringement. But I found it a bit of an enlightening story. The story goes, and again, I'm not going to tell the story exactly how it goes in the book. So there's a guy who's 20 years old living in, I think it's Jamaica, somewhere like that. And he's a carp fisherman. Him and his father get up every morning. They go out into their small boat and they take a few nets and they do carp fishing. They bring back the fish. And what they do is they feed their family. They share some fish with friends and neighbours and other family members. Sell a few fish to people who live beside them as well. And the guy who's 20 years old spends the rest of his day sort of chilling out, spending time on the beach with his friends, spending time with his family, smoking a few joints, playing football and so on. One day an American businessman comes along and spots what these guys are doing, and he comes up with a plan. So he speaks to the guy who's 20 years old and says, look, I've been watching what you're doing and I've got a great idea. I'm going to set up an enterprise and I'm going to give you 50% stake in it. So you're going to be a 50% equity shareholder in the company. I'll inject tens of thousands of dollars into the business. And what we'll do is we'll buy X number of boats. We'll hire a whole bunch of people to man the boats. We're going to buy X number of nets and high quality nets. We're going to catch more, do more carp fishing than you've ever could imagine was possible. With all of the fish that we're catching, you will sell it to all parts of the island. We'll buy a vehicle to be able to transport fish to different parts of the island. We'll probably cargo stuff to another island, and so on. This isn't exactly what the story is, but you kind of get the gist of where this is going. So the young boy says, well, what does that mean that I have to be doing? He says, well, what you need to do is you need to commit to kind of working from X, from this time in the morning to this time in the evening. You maybe do 2 shifts. You'll manage the boats. You'll keep an eye on all of the stock. You'll hire people to do X, Y, and Z, and so on and so forth. Sort of outlining what it's like to run a small business and a small enterprise. Okay. He says, but don't forget, he says, like after 20 years, this business will be worth X amount because you'll be selling this amount of fish for this price and you'll make this amount of profit, and this business will be worth such and such, so you'll be able to retire at the age of 40 and you'll be a millionaire. How does that sound? And the guy says to the businessman, so when I retire at the age of 40, what am I going to do? He says, well, what you can do then is you can spend some time with your family, you can smoke a few joints, you can play football on the beach, do whatever you want. So I think the whole theme behind that story is, do we need to be doing all of these things to get what you really want, when all that you really want is kind of to be happy and to be comfortable and to be relaxed and to spend some time doing the things that you really like doing? Certainly give me food for thought in terms of what we're going to be doing at Cloud 360 Accounting, and we have a strategy with the team in January onwards to kind of reshape what we're going to be doing. And I'm going to be aiming to bring some clients on that type of journey as well. So keep your eyes peeled for what we're going to do along those lines. Hope you find it useful, and please grab a copy of that book. It's hilarious.